Hey, what's guys, review?
To Rev. Rev says desu. I think I'm saying it right. I think we all know who Rev is, to a degree. But it says here, modern audience is canceling evil Chainsmoker Cat anime and getting brutalized by community notes. So I don't know much about this anime. I don't think he's gonna tell anything about like any spoilers. I don't think he's like that. But he's gonna probably mention some things that might be a spoiler, but enough to not ruin it for you completely. So let's see what Rev says and see where this goes, because you know the modern audience don't like anything that is different.
Here. So in this video, I'll be talking about an anime that is trending for both good and bad reasons. I'm talking about the anime adaptation of the series Chainsmoker Cat, which to many, they believe this is a very honest depiction of themes like depression and addiction. In no way are those themes glamorized in this series. In fact, a lot of people think this is a very candid and brutal look at the effects these sorts of things can have on your mental health. However, as the series has gotten popular in Japan, and most importantly, overseas, a lot of Western users are attacking not only this series, but also Japan generally, using misinformation about fake outrage regarding Japanese fans as an excuse to claim that all the Japanese are a bunch of predators, and that's why they're mad about this series, I guess. The post people like this are reacting to comes from a supposed anime news source, which just like many is spreading complete falsehoods about this series for clicks on Twitter. In fact, they got hit with a community note dispelling their claims that the Japanese audience is dropping this series for being too disgusting and problematic. Now, when it comes to the anime itself, we're working on episode 2 right now, but when the first episode came out, it was a very sufficient gatekeeper. A lot of people saw the displays of depression and addiction in this first episode, and they tried to claim that seeing this in an anime was somehow glamorizing these sorts of themes. But of course, the outrage surrounding this has existed before.
I have never really seen an anime that just glamorizes something horrendous. In my honest opinion, I believe that most anime is good at really depicting how horrendous humanity can be. In most cases, in my honest opinion, because I think what people consider, what we as Americans or Westerners consider what's glamorizing something, is just a depiction of it in general, not the extra layers that are being presented within said topic. I think it's always like, just because it's on screen, therefore you're glamorizing it, not because it's needs to be seen and then presented as such. Just because it's even mentioned, that's the glamorizing. Ah, I see. Even though she is thick.
For the anime adaptation that's currently airing right now, when the manga came out a few years ago, there were malicious posts on social media.
Let me say, she said, I'm sorry, PT, she said, that'll be nice. Yeah, you should do reviews. Give it a try. Give it a try.
Media that was recognized by the series creator, who even considered taking legal action against some of these posts. But of course, when you watch the anime, yes, it does exactly what it is advertising. It is showing a lot of addiction and depression in a very brutal and candid way. And a lot of people do understand what they're looking at, even if it looks gross to them. They can acknowledge that this is a intentional effort to not glamorize.
Wait a minute. See, this is where we're hypocritical. I think I'm going to be very critical of us as the West, because how is this glamour? Okay, so the scene where we all seen the trailer. I don't know if it's out in English yet, but I think it's out in sub only right now. But we seen the trailer where she drops her cigarettes as in a bunch of dog shit or some type of cat shit. It looks like animal shit, right? And she's gonna pick it up and still proceed to smoke it, most likely, right? That's a form of addiction, right? Why is that such a problematic thing to see in the sense of this is glorifying it? When years ago, I think it was like, what, 5 or 7 years? I think it was about almost a decade ago, I think, where they was showing... Oh, you're still ahead with heavy shit. I got you, bro. But where... I don't know if everyone remembers this commercial, but remember when they make those commercials where they're trying to get teens not to, like, smoke? I don't know if everyone remembers this, but there was one of a girl who wanted... I think it was vaping. And she dropped her vape in the fucking toilet, and I think if I remember right, do you guys know what I'm talking about? And she takes it anyway in the bathroom. Does anyone remember that commercial? I think it was a black chick, if I remember right. I don't think she was white. If she was probably ambiguous. But then again, I was like, you know what I'm saying? Has anyone seen that commercial? I think she was a vape addict, and she dropped the vape into the toilet, and then she's like contemplating taking it, but she takes it anyway, and goes and cleans it off to go use it. And her friend is like in the room. I think her best friend is there with her in the bathroom, and she saw she drops it in the toilet. And she kind of looks at her like, "You're gonna really do this?" And she's like, "Yeah, I have to. It's my vape," or some bullshit type shit. It was horrendous. And then it was supposed to let people know how addiction can get really severe. You know what I'm saying? That was the whole point. It was trying to teach kids not to vape or smoke or do weed or some shit. That was the point. So why is that not problematic, but somehow in the anime that's supposed to be technically a satirical sense of what comedy, of what addiction looks like, to really show you what that could be? Why is that going to present as evil? If anything, that's probably more real life than you think. Maybe we're not all dropping our vape and or cigarettes in dog poop, but there's people who don't give a fuck. They will do that because they need to get that hit.
These themes. You see quotes like this saying, Twitter people, when they realize addiction and depression can ruin your life and aren't just funny character traits. Here's another one saying, finally, a realistic depiction of what real depression rooms look like. Romanticized mental health never shows this. I'm happy they are saying the quiet part out loud, speaking from experience, unfortunately, trying to get better. Here's another one saying this is what depression looks like. Hell, the part of her, with her getting overwhelmed with cleaning her room and finding showering a pain, is literally how I felt before I started treating my ADHD. Very telling how people are reacting to this depression has been romanticized. And that is what a lot of people are doing on social media right now. They are basically misunderstanding the series, and they're trying to claim the series is romanticizing it, assuming if these themes are shown whatsoever, it must be done in a way that is trying to glamorize it. And of course, people are just...
Again, I think this is one of those situations where people, if they see it, therefore, instantly as they see it, doesn't matter if it's doing anything. Like, I think the glamorization in our heads is that if you bring it up, therefore, you're glamorizing it. You are presenting it in a way that is either cool or this is okay behavior. I think a lot of people think, or there's a good set of people believe, if you show this, you're glamorizing it in general. Yes, they're trying to make excuses for themselves for not to see it, or why they shouldn't see it, or pretend it doesn't exist, or this is not a real depiction of people who are addicted, or some shit like that. Maybe for the people you know, or maybe someone you know specifically and doing exactly that, maybe they're not that far gone, but there are people who are so far gone. You know, people who said, I've been smoking since I was 11, type shit. We all know someone who has been saying that, whether it's an uncle or aunt, a cousin, a brother, a sister. They say, I've been smoking since I was 11 or some bullshit. It's usually some young-ass age, so.
Generally saying it's too gross to watch, right? It's too gross. In fact, it's so gross, this is the worst anime of the year. But of course, you can see replies ratioing this user saying, I don't think people realize what this show is. It's not a romanticization of an addict's life. It's a genuine depiction of living with addiction and depression. You're uncomfortable with it because you haven't struggled with it at this point. The show is a litmus test to see if you guys can have a shred of empathy for a real self-destructive person, and you've obviously failed.
Ah, damn. Come on, we know someone who's like this, or have came across someone like this. Actually, I was meaning to watch that. Ruby Rocks. Is it worth it? I think the main character is pretty heavy. She got some heavies, but like, is it worth it? I don't want to Is it worth it though? Okay.
And of course, the anime news related accounts like this are quick to swoop in for engagement farming. I don't trust pretty much any of these types of accounts because they're so desperate to farm clicks and engagement for pennies of Twitter ad revenue. They'll say just about anything. In fact, as we see right here, they'll just make stuff up entirely.
Well, you do like to research, so.
So they say Chainsmoker Cat is reportedly being dropped by the Japanese audience.
You know what I'm talking about, right? Like, if you look it up, you know what I'm talking about. You type in girl drops vape in toilet in commercial, you'll see what I'm talking about.
For being too disgusting. Now, all of the complaints I've seen, of course, were from Western Twitter users saying it was too disgusting to watch. But of course, this claim about the Japanese audience is completely made up. Completely made up, but this tweet still gets 27,000 likes. But you can see the note saying this. There is no evidence that the Japanese audience has broadly dropped Chainsmoker Cat for being too disgusting. Japanese reactions are mixed. Some viewers dislike the gross-out humor, while others praise the series for committing to its premise. And if you look at various sites like Nico Video, for example, it was #1 trending among anime. The first episode got that much attention. Of course, some people don't like it, but overall it seems like a lot of people enjoy the series. So any claims being made here that the monolith of the Japanese audience is dropping the series is completely and utterly made up. But of course, when you have an English anime news account like this...
I'm pretty sure most Japanese people are pretty aware that addiction is a real problem. And then I'm pretty sure majority of them know someone who works, whether it's a Japanese businessman or something like that, that smokes. I'm pretty sure they do know someone who smokes. And given how I've heard like horror stories on how, yeah, they say that. They say, I don't know if this is like just a stereotype, but like a lot of Japanese will tell you, yeah, like a lot of Japanese will tell you that like the Japanese work ethic is insane. Like but like the business like cubicle like atmosphere is really hostile. And if some of you have ever seen the show Zom 100, you'll know what I'm talking about. Like being in the Japanese cubicle like hierarchy is very, very stressful. Is extremely stressful, and it shows that in the show. And I think, if I remember, I think the main character ended up smoking a little bit just to get his nerves into check. I don't think he had an addiction or anything, but I think he came across a colleague who was smoking and they shared a smoke just for once. He said he never smoked before, but it was just that bad to the point that, because you show it depicts like how horrendous it is to be a more lower employee on that food chain if you're not like the manager or some shit. And then you started finding out about a lot of things that was going on behind the scenes in the show in his work life, where the girl he liked was getting fucked by the by the manager. That's not really a big spoiler at all. You're gonna figure that out in a couple of episodes, in like the first 2 or 3 episodes. But at the work office, I'm saying, like Office Space type shit. It's horrendously like stressful. So, and then I think some of the characters started smoking because it was just that stressful. Some of them was already smoking, some of them started smoking because it was just that bad. So, yeah.
Making a claim that is even slightly negative towards the Japanese, what happens?
No, it was really subtle with it at first, and you're like, oh, okay. They didn't, well, not subtle. They did show it off in the first episode or 2, but like it was like, right? I was so surprised that he survived that long, bro. Like, come on. Like, that's crazy. I don't know if this is going to get a season 2, though, or a 3. I don't feel like it's going to get another season. I don't feel like it will, but then again, it was entertaining to watch.
Usual suspects come out and express their racism towards the Japanese, and these posts are diabolical. Here's one quote saying, if Japanese folk don't have constant, being pumped into their dopamine receptors, they don't want it. So basically, this person is casting an entire blanket over Japan, claiming they're all a bunch of predators, which is very interesting to claim for an individual like this, because if you scroll through their account for 2 seconds, you find them being a hypocrite. I mean, here's them excitedly saying yes, with a picture of Miku and Brazilian Miku making out, which of course she's...
What did I tell you? What did I tell you? It's always the same people who bitch about, oh, you're drawing that anime chick with big titties, you must be a gooner. And then when you check their profile, it's some insane feminist crossed individual who's a furry, and they're into a bunch of weird shit. They're into like insane, horrible sexual deviancy nonsense. Like, it's not, they're just straight. They're into everything but straight. You know what I'm saying? Every time. They're battling who gets Miku. Oh, they're with the soccer shit. That shit's crazy, yo. Every time. Every time. Every time. Every fucking time. It's insane. It is insane. Every time when I do artwork of any chick and they come in my stream and they bitch about me drawing some chick who happens to be attractive or lean or something, they bitch about, oh, you're drawing this movie. And then when you look, there's some type of insane furry person. And they're into some very dark, eldritch ass shit. It's insane. It was
a canonically underage character. What would this person be under their own standards that they use to literally demonize an entire group of people over fictional content? And of course, we're far from done. Here's another user saying Japanese anime fans when there's no incest or predatory content in the plot. Once again, dropping a giant blanket statement on an entire group of people.
And if I have to look at that picture, and it's the shadow picture. This person who posted this said that has a shadow picture. Best believe if you go to their profile, they have a bunch of Sonic shit, sexual shit on their shit. I'm telling you. I'm telling you, if you go to their profile, the people who are complaining about, oh, there's no incest in the anime stuff and blah, blah, blah. If you check, they have a bunch of furry, demented shit. I'm telling you. Every time. The hypocrites are insane, yo.
People over fictional content, over a post that is literally made up, but any excuse to go after the Japanese, I guess. And if you look at the accounts that are making it, this he, him is yet another hypocrite. You see...
what'd I say? It's always some shit. Every time. Every time.
Right here. Very happy to post high school students sleeping together in a different anime. I guess it's okay when this person does it, but when those Japanese viewers do it, it is something that gets their entire population demonized. And then you can see them posting over artwork of the character Toph from Avatar, saying, I haven't watched Avatar, but she's low-key bad as F. And just in case you need a reminder, this character is 12 years old. What does that make you under your own standard? You probably don't like that, but this is the game that you started. And of course, these people who are the ethical ones watch a cartoon about birds, and they immediately think about prostitution. The normal people, ladies and gentlemen. But here's some more. Another person saying, incest lollies, predators, okay, mental illness? Whoa, 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 not my cat girl anime. Again, just as a basis here, they are responding to a made-up post with a note sitting live on it, but they want any excuse to be racist towards the Japanese. Hey, and I find it very ironic that someone who thinks so negatively of Japan has literally dedicated their entire online presence to making artwork in their style. But of course, if you look through their account, well, it gets messy pretty quickly. In fact, they have underage characters from Sailor Moon kissing. This is their own artwork. There you go. So, again.
There it is. There it is. There it is. Caught him. We caught him. We caught him, boys. We caught him. Me drawing someone like Bulma in a bunny outfit. Note, a grown-ass woman with, I think, 2 kids. That's demonizing. That's evil. Right? But God forbid. You have 2... tell him I hope he's having a great stream if he's going to stream. I need to react to his other 2 videos. I never got to. I think he posted about 2 or 3 videos as recent, but I gotta go check later. But they have 2 underage girls kissing and glorifying it. Shit. Yeah, she was like that for a while. right? Those are actual two teenage girls, probably 15 and 16. They're not even 18. Kissing. But if I draw someone like, I don't know, fuck, who I can think of right now? What do you call it? One of the Genshin Impact ladies who are like in their 30s. Somehow I'm the scum of the earth. Grown woman though. Grown ass woman.
Pot calling the kettle black in this situation. But let's keep it going here. This individual
you notice
says
these people never leave anime? You notice that? They always want to come in and complain about what the Japanese are doing. The same Japanese who made anime in the general and the whole point why you're into it. You know what I'm saying? Have you noticed that? They never want to leave, but they always have a complaint. They never leave. But they bitch and moan about everything the Japanese is doing. But they can't help because if tomorrow the Japanese stop making anime, this will collapse almost instantly.
Japanese chuds are okay with incest predatory content, but draw the line at depression. Again, reacting to a completely made-up claim. But if you look at the account here, oh, you see they're from Brazil. Oh, well, maybe you should stop worrying so much about the Japanese when reports like this just dropped a few days ago about 800,000+ live births in that country from mothers aged 8 to 17. Wow. That's crazy because they don't even have those icky Japanese cartoons over there. I can't believe this is happening. I think you should worry about your own country before you start making blanket statements about an entire country like Japan over fictional content.
What happens
but here's another user saying the only reason Japanese folks are dropping this anime is that it shows their life outside the office exactly as it is. A pitiful existence. I'm just going to assume this is projection. Also, hammer and sickle, pronouns, you got it all.
You got it all.
Absolutely.
That's a great indication to know they're crazy. Whenever they have any socialist, communist nonsense in their shit, and they call themselves he, him, they, them, whatever the fuck, that's a great indication. Now, I'm not saying everyone with pronouns is evil, but a good amount you are. So if I'm saying a good amount, I'm saying about 80% of you, 20% of you are probably pretty cool. 80% of you are probably fucking crazy.
Absolutely embarrassing, diabolical people making these claims, but you kind of expected that. Here's another user saying Japanese audiences will slap their bellies over the 50th tentacle grape gag, but draw the line at an addict girl acting like an addict. And then you look at the accounts, and, well, their inability to separate fiction from reality seems to make a lot of sense when you look at the person making the claim. But of course, here's another one saying, Sons of B, when the anime doesn't involve sexualizing minors or romanticizing characters with real depression. And this all goes back to the completely made-up claims that started this. And as pointed out here, crazy how you can just make up something with no proof given and phrase it, Japanese people have stopped eating toast with their breakfast, and cash in on Twitter Blue money on 1,000 people going, must not have any little girls in it, thinking they're the first guy to say that. Yeah, not only are all these quotes completely unoriginal and racist, they're just downright pathetic in every sense of the way. They can't even attempt to check the claim before they start reacting in a racist tone towards it, right? A lot of these people making these quotes with the note already attached, like there is evidence on the post itself, the claims are made up, but they saw such a golden opportunity to make racist claims, they literally couldn't help themselves. So here we are, you can thank accounts like this for starting a landslide of negativity towards this series. They're all missing the plot in many literal sense. They don't understand what this anime is even trying to do. They don't really care. They just see it as an opportunity to say vile things about Japan, but many such cases, unfortunately. But for now, that's going to do it for this video. If you enjoyed, please consider giving the video a like, consider subscribing and turning on notifications for daily uploads, as well as multiple streams every week live here on YouTube. But overall, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.
Well, that was that.